talk about dates. Let's talk about dates and dating. Let's talk about neighborhoods you live in, things like that. So, I used to live in this area. Now, mind you, I was married at the time. I wasn't going on many dates. However, the Matrix. So as it is, right? Or should I say as it was in the South at the time when I was in the South. It was going around, meaning it as in IT technology was going around in a neighborhood. So it just so happened I had to go and speak to someone about an issue I was having in my apartment. Now this is when I tell you immediately prior to COVID. Next thing I know, I'm having like this huge awakening. And when I tell you it was a huge awakening, I felt it. I could feel it on my person, right? Meaning my body, I could feel it. But the reason why I don't say body is because it was another realm. Like I said, it was the Matrix. It was a Matrix awakening. You need some? Okay, so, and in the South Note, which was, y'all, I'm gonna say I don't recommend it. Because they just on some foolishness and some bullshit. Well, they not on bullshit. They on foolishness. They're on some, I F with you, I F with them, I F with these two. And then I come back to you, I F with you, I F with them, I F with these two. I met these other people. I went over across the street, down the corner. I come back, I F with you. That kind of stuff. And I was like, nuh-uh, honey. Because I don't know where you been and who you done laid with. So then they got mad at me. Next thing I know, they threw me outside. Like, almost literally. I was like, fuck y'all. And your mama. But anyway, that didn't last because I took my ass right back inside. Right? I went back inside the house. Because I was like, hell no. The people they had outside on the streets was doing... This heifer was scrubbing the ground. Okay? It wasn't nobody doing nothing strange for change. It wasn't no gay for pay. These people are outside cleaning the streets. And vampires are telling them what to do and when. And for how long. And then they get paid like 25 cents on the hour or some shit. So the vampires were talking to... I know this sounds crazy. It's a Matrix awakening, all right? The vampire is telling me what to do. Now, I looked at him and was like, you must think I'm someone else. You must really have me confused with some other bitch or whore. Because I'm not the one, nor the two, nor the three. Like, I'm not her. I'm not the, these are not the droids you're looking for. Hell no, motherfucker. And I said that to them then. And I went about my business. So they came back. When they came back, they brought this gentleman, this man that I know, right? And I shouldn't say gentleman because gentleman is a nice gentleman, right? They brought this masculine that I knew. And when they brought him in, he was like, oh, come on, go with me. He was making it seem like he was interested in me and all of this stuff. And I was like, are you sure? You know what I mean? Because I was like, where are you leading me to? Anyway, we ended up in like Stranger Things mall. The reason why I said that, because it was crazy. I was looking around and I was like, it's a mall. Definitely. But it was wild because it was like, it was some apartments over here. And, you know, not to say they don't have things like that nowadays. They do. You can enter hotels through the mall. You in really luxury malls and stuff. They got the entrance to the hotels. The hotel is connected to the mall and you can go shopping or go eat, walk down, ride the elevator, escalator, get to the movies, that kind of thing. When you're in real luxury areas within Virginia and DC, right? So, but it was just the way that it looked. And I guess it was because it was so, Spirit is telling me it was coming apart. It was the Matrix, I'm telling y'all. And I could see it with my eyeballs clearly that I was within the Matrix. So my neighbors were left out. They were excluded and they wanted to be included on these, I'm going to call them dates. But I'm going to say one thing. This date, I was a full-body person. I don't need no help. I don't need nobody walking for me. I don't need nobody else's legs. None of that shit. Yeah, we got an engagement ring. So, because it wasn't an engagement ring, it was a partnership, right? Because I knew that's what it was. Because the way that he was bouncing around, it was like a union per se. Look, like I said. So it was like a ring for a date, right? Like I'll ring you up for a date. That's exactly how it happened. It wasn't like a Ring doorbell, because I didn't have one of those. My neighbors didn't either. It was just a Matrix programming code. And it just went round and round, right? Like I hear Tammy Campbell, round and round. Mm-hmm. Da, 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 da. And it was just kisses. It really wasn't anything serious. It wasn't intimate. Well, it was, but it wasn't. How do you explain that? This is the getting to know you stage, right? You get what I'm saying? So, things take time, right? But anyhow, what ended up happening was with these, I don't want to use the word date because it really wasn't like a date because it was a group of us, right? Then we ended up back inside because I was like, I'm not going with the vampire. I told my friend, the gentleman that I knew, and he introduced me to this young guy who was interested in me. I don't know his age. I just say young guy because he wasn't older or anything. He wasn't a kid, So he was like, I like you. And he was trying, it was the way he was talking. And I said, what's wrong with you? I said, what's going on? I said, you got a grill? Because I'm in the South, right? I'm thinking this motherfucker got a grill. And we in the spirit. He got a grill in the spirit. I'm thinking he gonna show me diamonds, something modern, right? On trend. This motherfucker had vampire teeth. I said, you're a vampire? Now I realize and recognize I'm surrounded by vampires. I'm the only one that's not a vampire. Now, if this is clarifying or explaining some things to you all, let it be. Right? Let that be known. That's factual. But like I said, this is a Matrix dream. This vampire wanted to date me. I kept thinking, well, isn't this something? People really be, acting and portraying things out in the Matrix. I'm still new to this. I was still new to the area, all of that stuff. Anyway, they recognized that an end to the relationship was coming. Next thing I know, we were inside. We were back inside. Me and this union that I had. We were inside, and then now we doing group dates. And this husband and wife. Well, my husband wasn't nowhere to be found. I'm like, well, where the hell are you at? Instead, I'm with this other dude over here that's still a stranger to me, but not the vampire. And y'all, I just had deja vu. So I guess I was supposed to tell y'all this. Because I'm still sitting up here to this day. Sometimes in my mind, I be like, but how did that make sense? But it's the Matrix, y'all. It's the Matrix. I guess it's not supposed to, right? It's not real. Excuse me. I realized that this is how these people here in the South interact. And then if you don't interact with them in a way that they feel like is pleasing, because some of the people were definitely on some people pleasing stuff, then they get mad at you. And then they want to, oh my goodness, excuse me. I'm burping, I'm hiccuping, I don't know what's going on. Maybe they don't want me to tell you this. And they get mad at you, and then they try to haunt you, right? Like they try to scare you into, oh, well, don't walk around outside by yourself. Don't do this, and that. Because I would go for walks and stuff, I love the weather in Georgia. And I would go for walks and just clear my mind, and just to clear my mind. See, when I used to go home to Chicago, this is what I would do. But it seemed like all that changed, and I don't feel that same energy when I'm outside walking through my hometown anymore. And it's sad, but it's not there. So when I was in Georgia, I fell in love with the weather, the temperature there. I talk about this all the time. And 64-degree mild weather, and they call it winter. I was out there in a sweater and some long sleeves. Like, I'm from Chicago. When I tell you, I was enjoying myself. It was nothing that could bring me down because the weather was so pleasing. It was like, it was like an attribute to me, to the makeup of what I am or who I am. Because it was just so, I don't want to say comfortable, but, because the heat down there is extreme. And at one point, it was like I couldn't even breathe. It definitely messed with my sinuses and stuff. And so I would just be outside all red-faced and stuff, trying to walk real fast and get inside a building to some AC. But when I say red-faced, I blush. When I get real heated or I start to blush. Even though I'm black, yeah, I blush. So, and I couldn't breathe, right? And I still have issues and problems and stuff with my sinuses now, because of the different areas, pollen and things of that nature, things of nature, basically. So they realized the ending was going to come to the relationship, y'all, because I had started a job and I was about to basically come into some funds or some money. I had started my own YouTube channel, things of that. So he ran to the girl with the snake. Now, who had the girl with the snake? The man upstairs had the girl with the snake. And this masculine was not being included into the dates, y'all. Okay? He wasn't being included into the dates. So then what happened was they had a kid. And I don't remember them having a kid. I remembered like a younger guy coming over and bringing the kid. Maybe he was bringing the kid back to them. I'm not really paying attention. I work. I take care of my kids. My kids have school and stuff. Like, I had my own life. I wasn't like monitoring what's going on in the neighborhood. It wasn't like that at all. But I thought it was somebody else's kid. But anyhow, I noticed that the child car seat stayed in the car. And these people, and I could hear the kid crying, right? So the guy upstairs, he was in a frat. So I guess that's why they didn't include him. Or maybe they were trying to include him. I don't know. Don't ask me, I don't know. I know this masculine was an Aquarius. And when I tell you he moved, here's the thing about me. I don't just read tarot and oracle cards and I read energy and such. I'm an intuitive, but I don't like to even say that word because it's a masculine out there who feels like, hey, that's me. And I'm like, yo, you can't claim a word out the damn dictionary as yourself. Like your name, you weren't born and they wrote down intuitive as your name, right? But anyway, moving on from that because I'm not going to dwell on his personal issues. But this masculine, this Aquarius, he was in a frat and he definitely he moved like an op. It's one thing about me. If I see your movement and it's inconsistent or you standoffish, I'm talking to you and it starts to look like mysterious around your face and shit. Like, I'm not playing that stuff. And I am talking about in the dream state, yes. This masculine was a whole op. So I said all of that whole story about sometimes we out here and we don't know who the ops are. But we have to learn how to identify them, right? Because they swear to God they be trying to come into our energies, right? Because they know that we celebrate. They know that. So they want to come in. How can they bust in? How can they break in? How can they fit in? Or whatever. And then his wife, she was like, she was African. I remember that much. She was African. And she didn't necessarily dress like the rest of society and stuff. She didn't fit in right. And when she walked by, she had a smell. But I thought it was like, you know how foreigners use different seasonings, and that seasoning gets like stuck in the energy in the apartment and their clothes, stuff like that. Because in my apartment, we didn't have no smell. I didn't know what was going on with them. Next card out here, we got confession. Releasing the secret, pursuing virtue through honesty. I don't know what's going on. I just know I never dated him. And next thing I know, it changed into, instead of the date coming to and fro like how it was previously, it became about the children. And I was like, nah, you can't be taking my kids up out their home. They talking about where their dad wants to spend time with them, and their dad lives over there across the street or upstairs. I said, nah, that's some bullshit, right? But I said to myself, you know what? I said, I know how to pray, and I know the people that are listening to me, including my ancestors of the highest white light, watching over me. And don't get me started on my ancestors that function in the dark, because I'm sick and tired of these people out here, these snakes and these ops trying to move off of what I say because they stalking my channels and shit, right? Anyway, I've been talking all day because I've been making videos for y'all all day. And so we got celebrating confession. It's so weird. We got two C's. Two C's. What do we mean by celebration and confession? Celebration, T-I-O-N, confession, S-S-I-O-N. We got acceptance. Okay. Accept past and current situations and work through issues gracefully. All right, so I wanted to make this video because sometimes we date or we interact with masculines, ladies, right? Because I can only speak on the behalf of the ladies. Whether you're a woman that likes women sometimes or a woman that likes men all the time. And the reason I said it like that for a reason, right? Because a woman could be an op just as well as a man could be an op. We have to learn how to protect our energies and don't get duped into these and courted to people who don't have our best interests at hand, right? And with that means you really, truly have to pay attention. And like I said, when I interacted with the gentleman and he took me to the other guy who wanted to date me, he was like, I like you. Can we hang out? I want you to be with me. So basically he wanted me to switch my union, my partnership I had with the gentleman to him. Because it came, to be that the gentleman, he was already seeing someone else, right, intimately. And I just opted to just go be by myself. Because I was like, I just didn't like the way it was set up. Oh, here, I'm interested in you. I want to get to know you again and get to know you better. And then takes me to meet someone else and tell who wants to holler. Like, guys, y'all do weird stuff. Y'all move weird. And you have to make a woman feel safe. And that didn't feel safe to me. Not safe enough. I mean, because I'm a woman that has kids. So, of course, even if my kids aren't with me, I'm thinking about my safety and theirs, right? Because if something happens to me and they don't have me, I'm not for that. I don't want nothing like that to happen. So I opted to go back home. Anyway, it happened again, like I said. And then it got to, well, it was only for a certain time. It was a lot of, y'all, they keep so many secrets in the South. And then once they realized that I could go in and out of the matrix, they were not happy. Not happy. And I know it was because of fear. But at the same time, God would not have led me there if it wasn't to help them. And I was just being, I was just on my creative. That's what I can't help it. It's what I do. I've always done this. Have fun, express yourself in a new way. So Maybe it was time for something new to occur, a different alignment, a creative alignment. And then the whole neighborhood started to do that. But things started to get out of hand and like angry. We got strength here, determination, perseverance, and self-discovery. And I make these videos also, especially this one, because I want people to realize, should I say recognize, that they do have these things within themselves. You do have a tendency to protect yourself. It's a survival instinct, but you grow it, you evolve it beyond that, right? By talking about issues like this, like, are you dating an op? What are signs for you to tell or identify that you dating an op? Well, this masculine moving funny. He only called me every other night. That means he might be seeing someone else. That means he might have been sent to you. It might be a setup, right? What else? There's some other points I wanted to touch on. And okay, so like, how do they approach you? Do they approach you in a manner where they respect you, or they value your presence? And the reason why I say that is because some of these masculines haven't got in tune with themselves enough for them to even recognize that they need to self-prioritize, right? That they need to evolve their thinking or their beliefs, because it's a new time. It's 2020 something, right? It's 2024 this year, but at the time when this was happening, it wasn't 2024. So I'm saying that to say, like, you have to not only identify things within yourselves, but you gotta keep your eyeballs open, right? It's not about just watching your drink, because I wasn't drinking on these interactions, but it's not about just watching your drink. It's about also, when you in the spirit, say you do get intimate, use protection. Goddammit, you use protection in real life. Use protection in the spirit as well. And if that masculine don't want to use protection, then we got some issues here. We got to talk. We got to talk about it. Or we need to talk some more. We need some more time to get to know each other. We need some dating time where we can interact with one another and find out each other's likes and dislikes. And these masculines whose answers be changing, or they ask you to call them on a different number or something like that. It's the same thing in the spirit, y'all. It's the same thing. Like, you moving funny. And when I start to recognize that, especially in the spirit, I don't have to give you a second chance. I'm like, oh, hell no. You moved funny the first time. And it made me feel strange or weird or not safe or not respected, or you didn't value your time with me like I was valuing my time with you. Now I'm out. You don't have to call me no more. We don't have to have no ring, for a partnership or a union or a relationship, a situationship, nothing, or outing. We don't have to do none of that. And masculines, that goes for you all as well. We got acceptance here. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, that's also something that I had to do, because I recognized that in some way or form with that whole interaction that I failed. I failed myself because I was not willing to get to know somebody who was different than I was. Just because he was a vampire, that didn't mean that he was going to try to do something to make me a vampire. But that was my first thought. That was my first thought. And when I tell you he had fangs, he had fangs. And when I saw his fangs, I looked around. The gentleman had fangs, and his friend had fangs, and the people down the hall had fangs. I was the only one without fangs. Now, maybe that was an opportunity for me to accept who and what I am or have been in the spirit realm. Yes, because I don't know if that was the past rising up again. I don't know. I don't know what that was, because I walked away from it. And then it changed and it evolved into different things that I didn't accept either. But at the same time, it's also something that they had to accept, that they failed as well because of the approach, right? Because masculines, a woman, I don't care what year it's going to be. I'm not telling you to open my door, open the car door, put your jacket down, let me step on this on. I'm walking no water puddle. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for your approach, right? It should be gentle. It should be, number one, appropriate. Can you be appropriate, goddammit? Don't holler at me and be like, hey, mama, because I'm not your mama, right? I'm not your mama, and I don't want to be. And my daughter asked me the other day, what's something that a guy has said to you that you never liked? And I was like, that right there, that people call it catcalling, right? That's not catcalling. Not when the man is interested in you and he calling you mama. We got some problems here because I'm not trying to be your mama. Okay? And I don't want you to be my dad or my papa neither. I don't care if Spanish women say papi and all of that stuff. I'm not her. I'm not her. Okay? We got guilt here. Yeah, because of the way that things were brought about. I can totally get that. But they did have courage to try. And I had the courage to say, I don't think this is for me. But although I didn't give it enough time. However, I've been through things in the past in the spirit where if I didn't accept it on the first day, these people was trying to hurt me, harm me, or kill me the next time I saw them. So I made sure to stay away the next day. So I didn't interact with them again, right? Right? We got indecision. And I can understand their indecision of not wanting to approach me or ask me out again. But we got trust, right? Because their approach and them moving funny made me feel less confident in my surroundings. And including the gentleman that I knew, I didn't feel as safe. And I'm telling you, that's what I have to have. And men, y'all have to have that as well. Because things happen to guys too. Right? I don't want to bring up Diddy, but we got blame here. And we can blame the environment. We could blame the gentleman. We could blame anything. That day, damn it. We could blame the damn moon cycle. I don't know what it was. But they could blame me just like I could blame them. I get it. But we also got forgiveness. And that's really the end. Like what we need to get to is we always got to just forgive and make sure that we learn from things, right? Instead, sometimes you might run into adversity. People want to laugh at you. But we got to have gratitude and understanding and understanding that we got another day here on the planet. And we get the options to choose how we want to live it. Whom do we want to interact with? Because there is no way possible that somebody who is your op, that don't care about you, will remain in your life year after year after year after year after year. Not unless there's some value there, right? Not unless there's some value there. But you got to come and bring balance. You can't bring deceptive, destroying energy, right? And you got to accept change. And first and foremost, it's got to be a friendship, not pridefulness. Okay? And you can't expect me to have empathy because of something that you're going through when I just met you or when I've been hearing all about you being deceptive. Acting like a Decepticon or some shit. Because I'm going to tell you something. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody. I don't. Like, I could be sleeping and getting my rest. I'm just going to keep it real with you. Keep it real 100. Because if I don't enter the matrix that day, yeah, it might be some loneliness. But you ain't stopping me from getting my rest. I'm still going to be all right. Right? Abundance. I'm still going to be all right. Because I'm still abundant spiritually. That never goes away. Not for the right ones. So that's what I wanted to say. And one day we'll get up to more than 50 people so I could go live and I could get some interactions and some feedback from you all to see, what else can we touch upon? How else can we come together and move forward and make it through, right? That's what I have. Namaste.